Who is he? Scarecrow. Real name? Dr. Jonathan Crane. Created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. First appearance, World's Finest Comics number 3, fall 1941. This is how it already goes. Dr. Jonathan Crane was a professor of psychology. He was very good at it until one day during his lesson on fear in his class, he brought out a gun and shot it, later getting fired in the process. The reason for the gun was he was not trying to kill anybody, but rather shoot it as people could get scared to help with his lesson. When he later went home that night, he started thinking about becoming a criminal while using, and when he noted about fear to commit crime. So he decided to don a Scarecrow costume to really strike fear in people. It would also represent him poverty. And on that day, he became the Scarecrow. Of course, the first crime he committed, of course, involved him scaring people, but of course Batman and Robin were there to stop him. There was a short origin for him until in 2005, in the short story arc Batman and Scarecrow Year 1, and Scarecrow's full origin was revealed. In it, we learned that Crane's obsession with fear and phobias began since he was a child. The reason for that was that his grandmother, who he lived with, locked him in a church with crows whenever he was bad. Also, Crane's mother didn't love him, and his father abandoned him. It wasn't a good childhood for him. It wasn't a good teen years for him either. He was picked on and bullied for having a scrawny appearance and the way he dressed, really. He was called a couple names. One of them was the Scarecrow. At some point, he soon didn't have any fears at all. Really nothing scared him at that point. He would later go work at Gotham State University as a psychology professor. Of course, again, he would later get fired for accidentally harming one of the students during a presentation on fear. And then, of course, he would later become the Scarecrow. Of course, like many other superheroes and supervillains, Scarecrow also had his origin and slightly changed a bit in the New 52 back in 2011. They added some stuff to Crane's origin, but still kept some key points to it. In this new version of his origin, his mother had died, so he was raised by his father. At the time, the U.S. government asked his father to develop fear toxin so they can use it on their enemies. The way that his father tested the toxin was on his own son. The way he did it was he locked him in a basement. Now, it may not seem bad, but the basement was filled with skeletons, dead bodies, creepy masks, and anything that would scare his son. It was working very well until one day when his father was working on the toxin and he died, and while his son was locked in the basement. Several days later, the cops found the father's body and his son in the basement. The cops assumed that his father died of a heart attack. Most of his origin after that was the same, except some small, minor changes that were never really important. Now it's time to look at his powers and abilities. Scarecrow doesn't really have any powers, but he is a master chemist. He's able to create, of course, the fear toxin. Of course, fear toxin goes into your mind and makes you see what your worst fears, like spiders, the dark, falling from high heights, and then basically kind of like a phobia. In some comics, Scarecrow can either be a very weak character who can't really fight, or he can be a decent hand-to-hand combat fighter. Scarecrow also carries around weapons, and of course, in many versions of him, he's not a good fighter. Some of these include pitchforks, sickles, and scythes. He also carries a gun with him at many points in time. Now for his weakness. Like I mentioned, Dr. Jonathan Crane has built an immunity to anything scary. He has no fears whatsoever, except one. And that one fear is Batman. It's been proven multiple times that Batman's the only thing that can scare the Scarecrow, which makes sense that Batman can scare really easily any criminal. And that's it. That's the origin of Scarecrow. And now we did this origin, of course, to get everybody ready for Batman Arkham Knight's release tomorrow. So, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming your way soon. And other origin videos coming your way soon. Catch you guys all later. Bye.